In this video, I'm going to show you how to do the iconic MissingNo glitch in Pokemon Red and Blue in terms of seeing MissingNo, catching MissingNo, and of course, doing the duplicate item glitch.
Oh, hi, Mark.
What's up, Freccero fam? Welcome back to my channel. I'd like to experience everything that life has to offer. Let's jump right into this. First thing I'm going to do is fly to Viridian City. We're in Palatine right now. I'm going to go to Viridian City right there. And keep in mind, when it comes to this glitch, this works in Pokemon Red and Blue, but not Yellow, as it was patched and fixed. But anyway, once I land, I'm going to walk north, and we're going to see this guy walking back and forth right here. We're going to talk to him. He had a great cup of coffee, and he's going to ask if we're in a hurry. I'm going to say no. Now, once I do, he's going to show us how to catch a Pokemon. Nice tutorial for the game. Of course, very important tutorial, as catching Pokemon is very important for Pokemon. We have this level 5 Weedle. He has 50 Pokeballs for some reason. I feel like it's kind of a lot. He's going to throw the Pokeball. Wait for it. He caught the Weedle. He didn't weaken it though, but he does mention first you need to weaken the target Pokemon. Very important. I know Pokemon 101. And at this point now, the big bulk of the glitch is activated. What I'm going to do now is go to Pokemon, and I'm going to fly now to Cinnabar Island. So, a couple quick errands we just have to do. Talk to him, all that kind of stuff. Once we do, first thing I'm going to do is go to my items. Now, the way the duplicate item glitch works is this. The 6th item in my slot is the one that gets duplicated. So I'm going to do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Now, as you can see, I put a Master Ball there. For most people, you might want to put in Master Balls, rare candies, maybe nuggets to get a lot of money. Whatever the case is, I'm specifically going to do a Master Ball. I'll tell you why in a second, but we're going to keep it here. Once I do now, I'm going to walk all the way to the right, and I'm going to go to Surf. So keep in mind when doing this glitch, you need the HM users to have Fly and Surf. So go to Lapras, Surf, and what I'm going to do is surf on this area. There's both half land, half water. I'm going to go up and down. Now at this point, other glitch Pokemon might appear. There may be Pokemon over level 100 that appear. There could be normal Pokemon that appear. So it's kind of random and kind of a gamble, to be honest. You never know what you're going to get, and I have no idea what we're going to get here, right? The MissingNo will pop up at some point, and sometimes it happens right away. In this case, it's taking a second, right? It's taking its time. Maybe it's just kind of relaxing. Oh, there we go. We got a battle, and you know you got a MissingNo when it takes a second. Now, in this case, we just got a Marowak, level 128. So if you want to catch Pokemon over level 100, you can do that. But I'm just going to surf up and down over and over again. And at some point, sometimes it takes a second, sometimes maybe a minute or two, we will see a MissingNo.
A few moments later.
Oh, we got a battle. Long pause. See how it takes a little bit longer? Now we know. We got a MissingNo. Level 128. So if I go to my item slot now, boom, you can see that even though there's nothing there, I now have pretty much well over 100 Master Balls. So I'm going to catch this MissingNo, actually. That's why I suggest having the Master Ball in the 6th slot, not just to get a lot of Master Balls, but in case you didn't know, some Pokemon are easier or harder than others to catch. MissingNo, for whatever reason, very, very difficult to catch. Like, it can take you a long time, a lot of luck. That's why having a Master Ball makes it easier. So let's do it. I'm going to throw the Master Ball. Wait for it. And we now caught a MissingNo. No, I'm going to leave it. So now you can see, look at this beautiful MissingNo. First off, keep in mind, in case you didn't know, MissingNo glitches the game a lot. You probably know this. And this character, has the different mini icon is a person. Kind of trippy. And the picture of it sometimes changes. Here's what's really funny about MissingNo, in case you didn't know. Let's look at the interesting things. One, it is the bird normal type. In case you didn't know, MissingNo is the bird type, the only bird type to ever exist in Pokemon. Bird type was a prototype type that later got switched to flying. However, they left the bird type in the coding of Pokemon Red and Blue. For some reason, they're like, we'll just leave it in there. They're never going to know. We now all know that, yes, the bird type was an initial type that they switched up. In addition, MissingNo has the highest attack stat in the game of 136 base attack. The second highest, or the actual highest for a normal Pokemon, let me say it like that, is actually Dragonite with 134. In addition, MissingNo has its own moveset. So when I hit this, it is Water Gun again, and then Sky Attack. MissingNo can learn a bunch of TMs and HMs, so that's kind of cool. But that is the MissingNo and how to do it. And as you can see, if I go here, I have a lot of master balls. There's going to be all these weird symbols that might appear in your 6th slot when it comes to the item that you duplicated. Just keep in mind, usually it's about 128 plus different items you're going to have. And there's a lot of weird glitches that happen after you catch a MissingNo. So I went back to Pallet Town. First off, we're going to go battle, because in case you didn't know, the picture or the sprite of MissingNo changes every time you're in battle. I did do a video. I wanted to see, is it possible to beat Pokemon Red and Blue with only MissingNo? The answer was yes. And it was funny that during that video, every time MissingNo came out in battle, completely different picture. It also messes up the sprites of the other Pokemon and everything. So let's get into a battle real quick. Kind of funny. Ah, come on. How come when you want to get into a wild battle, it never happens? But when you don't want to, it happens. Oh, come on. There we go. There we go. So you can see now. Let's see what happens. So I'm already glitched up. The Rattata is reversed, right? Oh, Pikachu's coming out. Let's bring in MissingNo. Pikachu looks like he had a rough day. Or a rough morning. So now MissingNo also, as you can see, the sprite changed to whatever that is. So switch it up. Always takes a second. Now it looks like this. And as you can see, when the attacks happen, the sprite also gets even more glitched up. So let's do Water Gun. There we go. Also, MissingNo, horrible special stat. The special stat of MissingNo, as you can see, is literally 6. And its defense is 0. Yes, 0. Oh, there it is. In case you didn't know as well, if a Pokemon's over level 100 and it gets any experience points, it goes back down to 100. So when I look back here, now it's at the even number of 100. But it doesn't just stop there. There's so many more glitches. I think one of the most interesting ones to me is if you go to your Hall of Fame after beating the Elite Four, if you go to the Hall of Fame in your Pokemon Center, here's how it looks. And I'll be honest, I could go on and on about all the MissingNo glitches and the weird things that happen. Arguably, the most famous video game glitch of all time. Super trippy, super crazy. I even did a video talking about how the MissingNo glitch actually did change my life. And one last thing I have to mention on this video, very important to say, although maybe a bit outdated, is keep this in mind. As you can see, after we caught the MissingNo, weird things happen to the game. In battle, the Hall of Fame section, and more. And if you're doing this on an emulator, you kind of don't have to worry as much. But if you're playing this on an actual cartridge, the OG Pokemon Red and Blue cartridge, keep in mind, this could permanently mess it up. And I remember when I was in elementary school, like being on the playground, there were a lot of rumors, right? That Mew was under the truck, for example, in Pokemon Red and Blue. That was a big one. But the MissingNo glitch was real. And I remember all of us were fascinated. And I remember one of my friends, Zach, I remember this very specifically, caught MissingNo, destroyed his entire game cartridge. Like, he couldn't play the game anymore. After he caught it, he tried wiping the game clean, all this kind of stuff. Nope, his game was permanently just kicked. It was done. And I remember his parents were pissed, being like, wait a minute.
You what?
You're telling me you saw this weird Pokemon, you did this glitch, and now your game is unplayable? And I have to go back out to KB Toys, iconic at the time. I have to go back out to KB Toys and buy you another Pokemon Red and Blue game. For me personally, I initially started with Pokemon Red, but then I got Pokemon Blue. And I remember my Pokemon Blue game was still playable, but there would be weird trainers popping up. Professor Oak would appear at different points. Like, the game was just fried after catching MissingNo. So I do have to say, as a big warning for this video, if you are playing this on an actual cartridge, be careful, because catching MissingNo could completely fry it and make your game permanently unplayable.